So I don't know if that Bam block was the best block that I've ever seen, but in the moment it feels like it. Do I blame Colin Cowherd for Bam playing this well? I don't know. I mean, listen, man, Bam's skills on defense, we all get it, right? He might be him, Ben Simmons, Draymond on a good day, whoever, maybe a couple other guys, who can really defend 1 through 5, protect the rim, defend the post, all that good stuff, right? I think the Celtics went wrong by trying to attack him a number of times, whether it was Kemba and Tatum tried it once or twice from what I can remember. And the thing is, I said this a little bit on Twitter, like if you forced Bam to switch onto a perimeter player like Kemba, then I feel like you can just dish it off to Tatum, and then Bam has to stick with Kemba off the ball, you know what I mean? And if he goes to help, well, now Kemba Walker's open for 3 or something, and I just feel like the Celtics could get some buckets off of that by making Bam switch, but then passing the ball off, but instead they tried attacking Bam, which it's not going to work. He's just too damn good defensively, so it's either that or you just got to find some other ways to just not allow him to linger around the basket. I mean, on the very last play there, he was defending Marcus Smart in the corner, and I mean, it would have been an extremely tough pass for Tatum to make to Marcus all the way out there. So, I mean, even if you go small, it's like Bam can still find ways of sliding to the basket, and if you're just allowing him to do that, then of course you're going to see a play like that one. But just overall, the whole game, Bam's defensive impact was big. I mean, I don't know what his plus minus for the game was or anything, but just from watching, it was pretty clear the Celtics were having trouble with him, and they're going to have to find ways to just score while kind of avoiding him. I mean, is it possible that you could just simply beat him enough times to win? I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't want to play those odds, you know what I mean? Especially when it's Kemba. I mean, Bam is so much bigger than Kemba that it's really tough. It's really tough, so we'll see what they try to do with him. But really, towards the end of the game, I think I saw a stat. The Celtics scored however many points since 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, whatever. There was too much stagnant offense. Too many ISOs, that's pretty much it. Too many ISOs, and in turn, a few too many jump shots. And I mean, Miami's got a good defense. They're going to switch and all that, but you got to keep the ball moving at least a little bit. I mean, I think the play where Tatum went for the buzzer beater, they got the switch from off of Jimmy, and it was Tatum on Derek Jones, and you're thinking, all right, well, that can be something you can attack, but then Tatum just went for the 3, and I mean, in the moment, it's easy to say, well, you should have drove, but I mean, if we're just going to play the odds of Tatum making that 3 versus making a 2 off the dribble or getting fouled, then you'd think that he did not take the best shot in that scenario. But of course, you give Miami credit. I mean, Jimmy had the biggest 3-pointer of the game late with Kemba right there on him, and he also had that drive on Tatum. Jimmy, he ended up with 20 points, maybe 21, 22. It wasn't a whole lot. It is going to be interesting to see just how much of the offense really goes through him, because Miami was doing a lot of sharing the wealth in this game, which they typically do. I mean, Jimmy averaged 20 points during the year, and I would say Dragic was the guy who really got them going when they were looking a little slow. And a lot of time he was just beating Kemba with some pretty straightforward sets. Sometimes it was just an ISO or just kind of running fast off of a made basket or whatever, and Kemba couldn't deal with him. And I think eventually Kemba was on Jay Crowder. I got sidetracked from talking about Jimmy Butler, but as far as Jimmy is concerned, I think we saw Jimmy, certainly, but it's not like everything was running through him, and we'll just have to see how that progresses throughout the series. As for other guys who gave Miami points, Bam and Crowder being the other two, I mean, Crowder just can't miss from 3, man. There was 1 3 from Crowder that I remember the most, where it was either in the fourth quarter or it was in overtime, but it was just a horrible miscommunication by the Celtics, and he just was wide open, and he even had a second to kind of stare at the rim a little bit, and maybe Crowder's just simply a better shooter. I mean, Miami, they've got some good development people. We've seen them develop guys, Duncan Robinson being the biggest example in recent memory, I would say. So I wouldn't be shocked if they were doing the similar thing with Jay Crowder. But as far as Bam, I think, with Bam, it's the free throws. He shot 11 free throws. I actually think the Celtics defended him pretty okay when they weren't fouling him. Granted, he got 9 assists, so maybe that only goes so far. But, when he shoots 11 free throws, you're just going to have a tough time stopping this Miami team. He's a physical dude. He handles the ball a lot, and he can attack if you give him a little bit of a lane, but you just got to find something, man. You got to find something to not allow him to just kill you at the free throw line. If you dare Bam to be a scorer and you don't foul him, I think you can have success. But if you give him 11 free throw attempts, it's not going to happen. They did have Jaylen on him for part of the game. I don't remember exactly how that went. I don't remember Bam killing them in the post. So, whatever that's worth. But if we talk about the Celtics, Kemba, by the end of it, he finished with 19 points, but still missed a lot of shots, and there was a decent chunk of the game where he was really struggling, and it's the similar thing. It's the zone defense that's just giving Kemba some problems. Now, he is just missing some shots, and the step-back mid-range continues to be automatic for him, so again, it's not like he was horrible by the time the game ended, but I don't think he's been a positive for a few games now for the Celtics, and I don't know, man. Again, probably not trying to beat Bam in switches is a good idea. What do I keep saying? If Bam is switching to Kemba, I think you can get something else off of that, not attacking Bam one-on-one, though. And then as far as other times are concerned, could they try setting some really, really high screens for Kemba to get him going early? I think that's a possibility, and then I think I mentioned having him do a little bit more off the ball in my prediction for this series. So we'll just see. Besides that, I think Kemba, sometimes you just got to be Kemba. When he had that big shot over Tyler Hero with 20 seconds to go in the overtime, I think it was. That's why you signed him, to make shots like that. So sometimes you're just going to have to beat Dragic off the dribble or beat Hero or whoever. But again, that zone defense is making it tough. And Kemba's a good passer. He should be able to make the next play and whatever else. I felt like there were a lot of stretches in this game where Jaylen wasn't doing a lot. By the time the game ends, you look at his stats, 17 points, he got 14 shots up, but even so, it seemed like there were stretches where I forgot Jaylen was out there, and, I think he can beat some of these Miami guys off the dribble. I think Jaylen can beat Dragic and Hero and whoever else. So I think getting Jaylen a little more involved is good, but for this type of a series, if Jaylen's going to be defending Jimmy or Bam, there's just a chance that he's going to be spending too much of his energy on that side of the floor. As far as Tatum is concerned, he was pretty great. 30 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. Was he as great in the last couple of minutes and obviously the very last play? No, but I think if you start thinking about the reasons why the Celtics lost this game, I don't think Tatum gets too hard of it. Can you blame him for some of the inactivity on offense the last couple minutes? Sure, but still, I don't think he's the main one. I think you're looking at Kemba before anything else. As for Marcus Smart, well, I feel like I'm gonna start saying that Marcus Smart, he's either going to have a Klay Thompson game or he's going to have a Tony Allen game. Tonight we got Klay Thompson, Marcus Smart. He was 6 for 13 from 3, and I don't know. That continues to be one of the more interesting and random things of these playoffs. Did Marcus Smart go nuts or did he suck from outside? So what am I thinking moving forward for Game 2? Again, I think more activity for the Celtics, not as many simple ISOs, and just not attacking Bam as much in one-on-ones. And could the Celtics play a little more aggressive defense? Maybe. I don't know. I still think if you've got a chance to trap Tyler Hero or maybe Jimmy or Dragic, although that one's a little scarier, I think you can at least see if you can handle that. I think the Celtics defenders can do that. And besides that, I guess this is going to sound really simple, but just don't screw it up pretty much. I think the Celtics put themselves in positions to win this game, and then they just started playing poorly with like a couple minutes left pretty much. And again, that's mainly slowing things down too much on offense, and as a result, it became too many jump shots, and when they did attack, it was going against Bam, which is the worst decision you can make. And yeah, but even so, Miami, they were good. Miami was good. So that is my take on game one. Shout out to Brad Wanamaker, who I don't know if he's going to play any better than he did in this game. 11 points, 5 steals. That was the weirdest thing. It seemed like every 2 minutes he was getting some new steal where he just came out of nowhere on a guy. So yeah, if you made it this far, like and subscribe. Unless you don't want to, that's fine. I will probably be back in a couple hours for the reaction to Nuggets Clippers. Definitely if the Clippers lose. If the Clippers win, probably. So yeah.